going to do second step. So as I have mentioned before, this wasn't created by us. So we are going to do, I like to put them together. Some people put them separated, some people call them differently, but I like to say build report and soft qualifying as the same step, because they're both sort of what you actually doing, right? Build report is you're making sure that you are getting a couple of common grounds with a customer and making sure that you are breaking the ice, right? So we did that on your first impression when you did the meet and greet, and then now you're just following the steps of making sure that you're getting a customer to not have that wall up, because unfortunately, we as a salesperson, we are not very, we don't have a very good reputation, due to we are always trying to sell, we're always trying to stuff a customer in the car, we're always trying to screw them over, but that's not what we do. So here's a good part for you to make sure that you find common ground with a customer, that you talked about things that you guys have in common, and then from there you do a transition to soft qualifying, asking a little bit of couple information that you wanted to know, and then we'll move on to the next step. So building rapport, I like to say that you have about 3 to 5 minutes to make sure that you get enough information from a customer that you can get a report about what you're doing and what the common ground is, and start talking about that. I like to make sure that I tell people, because it has happened to me, do not lie. Do not say something that you don't know. If, for instance, I live in Marlboro, and if you don't live in Marlboro and you don't know things about Marlboro, don't say, oh, you know what, I know Marlboro, I've been there. Because you might end up shooting yourself in the foot, because you're going to say one thing that you might know about Marlboro, and that person will be like, no, that's not in Marlboro, that's in Sudbury, or that's here, that's there, right? But building rapport is for you to talk about normal things in life. Make sure that when that customer is coming in, you're not like, do you qualify to buy a car? How's your credit? Are you good? You have no credit? Do you have papers? You don't have papers? What's going on? We want to buy it today? That's not what we do, right? But customer comes in, you talk to them, you sit down, and you look at their license, and you say, oh, I see here that you are from Framingham. Great. I actually live in Framingham as well, too. And then you talk about, oh, have you been to this Brazilian place right down the street that they just opened up not too long ago? Have a nice steak over there, so far, so on. Or have you been to this Brazilian store? Or have you seen us here before? We been here for a long period of time. And then that's what you do. Talk about those things, right? Once you build that rapport and you get a customer to open up, now they're listening to you, they engage to a conversation, you are listening to them, and you are grabbing that information, and you're making sure that you're making a report from that customer, so you can actually be able to, fortunately it's hard to say, but to use that later in your advantage if you need to, right? That's how the police does. When the police comes and pulls you over, first thing they go is, where are you coming from? Where are you going? I see here that you live in Worcester, but you're going to Bellingham at 2 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? Oh, no, I was going to a friend's house. Oh, I understand. Great. What's going on? And then he start talking to you. It's not for your best interest. We all know that, right? The police doesn't do that for that. But also what they're doing is they're gathering information to find out what you're doing, where you're going, to make sure that if they need to use that on their report, they can, right? So build rapport, I like to put in is breaking the ice, building common ground, listen, and build info. So breaking the ice, like I said, for instance, a lot of our customers, right? We live in a New England state of Massachusetts, which specifically we don't know when it's gonna actually be a sunny day like today, and then tomorrow it could be snowing like it happened, right? So I like to, sometimes when I'm talking to a customer to try to break the ice, I like to bring it out there. Did you see what happened yesterday? All of a sudden there was a storm and snow. Is crazy, right? I mean, it happens instantly. They did say there was going to be a couple of, a little bit of flurry, but not how it was. Were you driving at that time? And then you talk about things like that. Just have a normal conversation, because the last thing that you want to do is, like I said, be doing an interrogation. That's not what we do, right? And then you want to build common ground. You want to, like I mentioned before, you want to talk about things that you guys know, where you've been. Usually, some of our clientels, when they come in, they're from Brazil, and it happens to be that you're from the same city. Then you talk about what you know, city that you are from, and how long they've been here, how long you've been here. Have a personal, normal conversation, okay? Make sure the most important that you're listening, you're building some info, okay? Now, when you go into the soft qualifying part of it, the soft qualifying part of it, I'll call it a 2.5, right? The soft qualifying part of it is when you're going to gather a little bit more information, but the information that you're going to get is not so deep into specifics what the customer is actually buying. You want to find out where he came from, how long he's been in the market. You want to make sure that you get those information so we know what to do and what to spend our money advertising wise, right? So on the soft qualifying part of it, I'm going to do this here, soft qualifying, and I'm going to put, so you want to know how long they been shopping, how did they hear about us, how long they've been shopping, how did they hear about us, it's already there. Yeah, let's put at those two for now, okay? So how long have they been shopping? How did they hear about us on the soft qualifying? So why you want to know specifically, very important is here, how did they hear about us, is because we spend money on marketing, right? And we want to make sure that we know where we should be, where we're getting more results and where we should spend more money, right? If we are getting results on Facebook, so let's go in and spend more money and put more advertising in Facebook. If we are getting more results on Auto Trader, Cars.com, Cars Guru, so far so on, which I'm going to name some of the websites so you guys know what's behind that as well too, is where we wanted to make sure that we maximize our opportunities and bring more leads, right? And you want to know about how long they've been shopping, is because if a customer just starts shopping, your approach with that customer is different. Now you have to approach into a manner where this customer might not buy it today because he just started. So I have to approach it differently, make sure that I land them on the right car, which you're supposed to do that no matter what, but you want to make sure that you land them on the right car. You want to listen more. You want to make sure that you find out more information to help and make that decision to buy it today. Some customers buy in the same place that they went, depending on how they've been treated, depending if the great deal is in front of them. Some people don't, but you want to make sure that you ask those questions. If you don't, and then you might, again, shoot yourself in the foot, right? So I'm going to name here on how did you hear about us. I'm going to name websites. So Cars Guru, Auto Trader, Cars.com.
Eu tô sem, cancelei, não tava vendendo as mãos.
No, no, I know, but
So we need to know.
those are the websites that's out there that you guys would know, customers, which if they come from, I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I'm mentioning those, right? True Cars, Facebook.
No, no, a presentation of marketing and BDC. We're gonna go over that, and like what he said, we make decisions on marketing, where we're gonna invest or not, based on the marketing report that we have on CRM. In a lot of leads, they already arrive in the system with the tracking code. So let's say a customer goes to Cars Gurus and sends us a lead request, arrives on CRM already saying Reggie wants to see a BMW, Cars Gurus. But sometimes we have walk-ins, and then it's very important to ask how you heard about us, and then you guys gonna select. So let's say if we are spending $2,000 with Cars Gurus, Cars.com, which we were, and then at the end of the month has 0 sales, what are we gonna do? We're gonna cancel, so we can use the money in a different way. However, sometimes salespeople, you guys in a hurry, you're trying to do things really fast, and ended up asking to forget. And then we do have a lot of customers that come from Facebook, and then we don't have their result in the system. And then maybe we stop spending, or Fernando, who is working on Facebook in Brazil, he loses sales because of that. So it helps with the marketing, which in a sense help you guys too, because we keep spending money on the same thing. Does that make sense? So that's why that's so important. Thank you.
So, if you guys don't know, you guys are going to learn this at one point, is some of those websites tells you if you are selling the car overpriced, if you have a good deal, if you don't have a good deal. If specific customers comes from specific websites, right? So there's more. This is the main ones that has been a business that we have used, that some of them we still use it, but those are the main websites at the moment. So Cars Gurus, Auto Trader, Cars.com, True Cars, we have the Facebook, Carfax, and radio station, right? I know we're no longer doing the radio stations, but a lot of people of ours used to listen to us on the radio station as well too. So I'll give you an example. If a customer tells you they came from Cars Gurus, it is a great thing to know, just for the fact that price will not be an issue. Why? Cars Gurus only is specific made of to tell you that you will go into the place that has the best deal. When you go in after, you guys write it down and go in those websites and see it, right? Cars Gurus will tell you great deal at direct on the car specific that you're looking for. If it's not, they're gonna tell you not a great deal, blah 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 blah. So if a customer comes in from Cars Gurus, you know that he's not here because of a price. He's here because you actually have the best price, you have the best deal. So you don't have to worry so much back in your head, of course, that you might have to negotiate, or this customer's gonna ask you for discounts, so far so on. So Cars Guru is good. Auto Trader give you a long range of deals, right? What does that mean? Auto Trader is more like, who goes to Auto Trader, they see cars from a long period of long range. They don't really tell you which one is best deal, but they give you more options of cars for you to see. They're more maximized on that, right? Cars.com, it's similar to Cars Gurus. The difference is they don't really put it out there if you're the best deal or not, but they tell you how much discounts you get. True Cars, the same thing, tells you, it compares a lot of cars by cars of which car is getting better results. Facebook is what the list that we put on, Marketplace, so far so on. Carfax. Carfax also give you information on how much the car is and the history of the car. And radio station, when we used to promote the radio station, we used to get a lot of results as well too. The Brazilian community that was listening to us, right? And we also have Kelly Blue Book. There's a couple other ones, but the main point of this is, like Reggie said, for you to know and for us to know where to spend our money, but also for you to know in back of your head that some of those websites are giving you that advantage. The advantage is telling you that they're here for that specific reason because we have the best price, right? So now also, how long have you been shopping? Why is that a great question? And the only reason why I put it in that on the soft qualifying is I go in and say, hey, Kevin, if you don't mind me ask, how long have you been shopping?
For about 2 months.
2 months? Great, great. Well, I'm glad that you're here giving us a chance to help you out. How did you hear about us? Was it which website did you hear about us?
Through Cars Guru.
Through Cars Guru, perfect. And at Car Gurus, did they tell you that we had the best deal?
Yes, they did.
That's great, perfect. All right. Then you move forward. So you knew that he's been shopping for 2 months. So we're not the first stop. He's just trying to find the right car. And Car Gurus told him that we have the right car. So by that information, now you know that you will go in the right direction and you have a deal right in your hands, right? So we want to make sure that you ask those questions. There is, I'm not going to get into other questions of soft qualifying at the moment because there is more into it that if we get to, it's going to be a lot of information. What I want to do is the next week training that we'll do, I'll get into a little bit more detail, but those are the first two questions that you wanted to make sure that you always have it in mind when you are working your way through from the builder report and soft qualifying. So I want to give a little example if I'm sitting with a customer, right, and going. So I'm going to do with Bruno, right? So Bruno, I hear that you are from Framingham, right? I saw you in your license. This is your current address, Framingham?
That's right.
Perfect. Hey, I don't live in Framingham, but I actually, for working in Framingham for a long period of time, I actually got to know a lot of areas here too. Have you been to the Brazilian restaurant down the street that they just opened up at the radio station, the train station over here?
Oh, no, I haven't.
You should try it. It's good place over there. Did you grow up in Framingham?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Keith Technical School.
Keith Technical School. So I went to school in Boston, Cambridge. That's where I graduated from. But it's actually a true story. Back in 2004, we did have it's two different tournaments as far as soccer. We are from Greater Boston League, and you guys are down this side. But we actually ended up matching you guys, which was Framingham Keith Tech, in one of my playoffs tournaments. They didn't go too well, but we actually ended up meeting first time they actually heard about Framingham. So I saw that you were here, that you were looking for a specific car. If you don't mind me asking, how long have you been shopping for that car?
For a few months.
A few months, perfect. And how did you hear about us? I know that you live in Framingham, but was it through one of our websites?
I saw you guys listing through Facebook Marketplace.
Through Facebook Marketplace, perfect. Did you had a conversation with anybody specifically when you actually were on looking at our ads?
Yes, I did speak briefly with Reggie.
Reggie, perfect. All right, great, good. I'm glad that you got to see us through there, and make sure that we answer all information that you have, any questions that you have at that point, okay? And then you proceed forward to the qualifying, which is a couple more other things. But you see that everything is a transition, right? Every step, it's connected. That's the reason why they created. So when you go from break the ice, I talked about a little bit about the restaurant that I like, and then I also talked about school. That's where you grew up. Then from there, I transitioned to, how long have you been on the market for? And then so far, so on. Yes.
So like, what if you can't really break the ice with like a shy person or something who's really quiet, or you can't really find a common ground with somebody because they live like super far away and you don't really know
It happens.
information?
It happens. You just proceed forward to follow the steps into. The reason why you try to break the ice is just to make sure that's not so much interrogated. But if you can't find, I'll give an example, old people, right? Old people are more like,
More closed.
they come in, they want to do this and that. That's okay. You can do this and that. Then you can go in from, if there's nothing that you found in common ground, you just follow the steps and you go in and you ask them the questions.
Okay.
I go in and say, oh, I know you're from Brazil. And he goes, yeah. And you say, do you like to play soccer? He goes, no. Then you'll be like, okay, just how long have you been shopping? Then you just go right into the step. And then from there, you get the information. He doesn't have much of an option if you ask the right way. You got to understand one thing, right? for every single question that you ask, if you ask the question the right way, you will get an answer. There's for one question, you can get 5 different answers, right? If you ask the right way. But if you want to get the right question, the right answer on the question that you're asking, you then have to ask the right way, right? You can go in and say, yo, you shopping for a car? He's going to say, yeah. But he's not going to tell you that he's been shopping for 2 months, right? Same thing as, how did you saw me on the website? He's going to say, yeah, I saw you on the website. Then now the next question is, which website?
Right.
But how did you hear about us? Oh, I saw you guys on this specific website. So every questions, you can get different answers depending on how you do.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's like ask open-ended questions.
Right, open-ended questions to get either or answers. Right.
And the training that I'm gonna do with you just about core, it's everything he said, but also based in personality types. So we're gonna have a moment that we're gonna cover what about person who's shy and they wanna do conversation. So there's a way of reading body language and then a different language they use. So we're gonna cover that to help with a little bit.
Yeah, that's out of my expertise.
Psychology. I mean, but what he is teaching is it pretty much got the job done 70-80% of the time. It's just something extra that I already showed to the other sales team and then I'll show you guys too. So.
I can erase. Everybody's good?